July 4, 1957, a covert meeting at Detroit's Book Cadillac Hotel. Ford and Chrysler executives draft a desperate letter. Chevy's 283 must be stopped, at any cost. This isn't racing, it's industrial warfare. The 283 didn't just break rules, it broke rivals. And they broke it back. Tonight, the real story they tried to silence. What was so dangerous about the Little Mouse Chevy? The truth involves corporate espionage, a legendary engineer's gamble, and the greatest what-if in racing history. The birth of the Little Mouse. The 1950s were the dawn of the horsepower race, a battle for supremacy among American automakers. Ford, Chrysler, and Chevrolet fought to deliver raw power to a nation obsessed with speed. But power came at a cost. Most V8s were heavy, expensive, and out of reach for the average driver. The silent assassin, Ed Cole's Project 283, was so secret, GM hid prototypes in Pontiac crates. The weapon? Rochester's Ramjet injection, designed by John Dolza, a man who studied Luftwaffe fighter engines as a POW in World War II. Test driver Panch discovered the 283 lethal edge at midnight trials. On cold sand, carbureted Fords fishtailed. The Ramjet, ice-cold precision. The mastermind, Ed Cole. Chevrolet's chief engineer, a man obsessed with efficiency and power. His vision, a compact, lightweight, affordable V8. Not in a Cadillac showroom, but in every Chevy showroom. Cole's team, including Harry Barr, later crucial for fuel injection, designed the original 265 cubic inch small block in Flint, Michigan in 1955. It was a revelation, simple, tough, tunable. Mechanics loved it, racers adored it. But Cole wasn't done. For 1957, Cole bored out the 265 to 283 cubic inches. But the real magic? Rochester Products Ramjet mechanical fuel injection. Designed by John Dolza and his team at GM's Rochester division, it was aerospace tech for the masses. Precise. Powerful. Mechanics quickly dubbed it the Fuelie. But in the Flint engine plant, whispers called the top-spec version Cole's Comet, a nod to its creator and its stellar performance. The result? An engine so efficient it made all others obsolete. 1 horsepower per cubic inch. The gauntlet was thrown. By 1956, the automotive landscape was heating up. Ford was pushing its Y-block V8, and Chrysler was flexing its muscle with the firepower Hemi. The market demanded more power, more speed, and more innovation. Chevrolet, never one to rest on its laurels, was already planning its next move. The 265 was a success, but it was a foundation, not a pinnacle. The stage was set for a technological leap that would shake the industry to its core. By the mid-1950s, competitors were upping the ante. Ford's Thunderbird was stealing attention, and Chrysler's 300 series was earning accolades for its brute force. Chevrolet needed to stay ahead of the curve. The pressure wasn't just external. Within General Motors, Chevrolet faced competition from its own siblings, like Pontiac and Oldsmobile, which were also chasing performance credentials. GM's corporate strategy encouraged innovation, but it also demanded results. Chevrolet's engineers knew they had to deliver something extraordinary that would not only outperform rivals, but also capture the imagination of a generation. The solution wasn't just to build a bigger engine, it was to build a smarter one. The result was the 283, an evolution of the 265 that would push the boundaries of what a mass-produced engine could achieve. Chevrolet was nothing short of revolutionary. The Ramjet system allowed the 283 to achieve a milestone that sent shockwaves through the industry. The 283 top configuration, available in the 1957 Chevrolet Corvette and Bel Air. To put this in perspective, most V8s of the era, like Ford's 272 Y-block, 190 horsepower, or Chrysler's 301 Hemi, 255 horsepower, fell short of this efficiency. Even GM's own Cadillac 365 produced around 310 horsepower, but it required significantly more displacement and weight. The 283 advanced engineering and a marketing coup for Chevrolet, which proudly advertised the achievement. This wasn't just about raw power, it was about precision and efficiency. The 283 fuel injection system, developed in collaboration with Rochester Products, used a mechanical setup that delivered fuel directly to each cylinder, optimizing combustion and reducing waste. This allowed the engine to produce explosive power while maintaining drivability and reliability for everyday use. The 283 was a versatile performer, equally at home in a family sedan, a sporty Corvette, or a race car tearing up the track. The 283 performance was a quantum leap over the competition. In 1957, the average V8 engine in a mid-range American car produced between 150 and 200 horsepower. For example, Pontiac's 347 offered up to 227 horsepower, while Ford's 292 topped out at around 205 horsepower. These engines were often heavier and less efficient, requiring larger displacements to achieve comparable power. The 283's ability to deliver high power from a compact 4.6-liter displacement was a revelation, offering a power-to-weight ratio that made it a favorite for both street and track. On the racetrack, the 283 was a juggernaut. In NASCAR, it powered Chevrolet's entries to multiple victories, including the 1957 Daytona 500, where driver Marvin Panch showcased the engine's blistering acceleration and reliability. The 283 compact size meant it could be fitted into a variety of chassis without compromising handling, giving Chevrolet an edge in stock car racing and drag strips alike. Its tunability also made it a darling of the hot rod community, where enthusiasts could push its output even higher with aftermarket parts. Its versatility was unmatched, offering a combination of power, efficiency, and affordability that competitors struggled to replicate. The 283 genius lay in its simplicity. This approach minimized development costs and ensured compatibility with existing components, such as transmissions and mounts. The result was an engine that felt familiar to mechanics and manufacturers, but delivered superior performance. The 283 block was a cast-iron masterpiece, designed for durability and ease of maintenance. Its overhead valve configuration, with 2 valves per cylinder, was straightforward but effective, allowing for excellent airflow and combustion efficiency. The engine's compact size also made it a favorite for aftermarket modifications, as it could accommodate a range of performance parts, from high-flow heads to aggressive camshafts. This adaptability ensured the 283 longevity, with variants powering Chevrolets well into the 1960s and beyond. Racing domination and driver legends. This engine didn't just perform, it dominated, and the drivers piloting these missiles became legends. NASCAR. On the treacherous sands of Daytona Beach in February '57, Marvin Panch, in Smokey Yunick's No. 98 Black Widow Chevy, powered by the fuel-injected 283, didn't just win the race, a precursor to the 500, he dominated. Corvette road racing, John Fitch, the decorated war hero and sports car ace, took a fuel-injected '57 Corvette to first in class at Sebring. Dick Thompson, the flying dentist, terrorized SCCA fields. The Corvette, once a boulevard cruiser, was now a world beater. Drag racing. In the Gasser Wars, Dino Don Nicholson's '57 Chevy, wrenched by the legendary Hayden Prophet, became a terror. Prophet, a master of the small block, squeezed every ounce from the 283. Why did drivers love it? Instant throttle response, unflinching reliability under punishment, a broad power band that pulled hard, and that intoxicating mechanical whine from the injection pump, the sound of innovation winning. The 283, particularly in its fuel-injected form, was a favorite among gasser racers. Racers could easily modify the 283 with aftermarket parts, high-performance camshafts, headers, and dual exhausts, to push its output well beyond factory specs. The engine's Rochester Ramjet fuel injection system was a particular advantage in gasser racing. While carburetors were common, the fuel injection provided superior throttle response and precise fuel delivery, enabling quicker launches and consistent runs. In events like the NHRA Nationals, 283 powered Chevys dominated classes like A/gas and B/gas, where their combination of power and agility made them nearly unbeatable. Drivers like Dino Don Nicholson, who later became a drag racing legend, cut their teeth in gasser classes with 283-equipped Chevys, showcasing the engine's ability to deliver explosive performance in a grassroots setting. The superstock classes, which focused on factory stock or lightly modified cars, were another domain where the 283 V8 shone. Introduced to bridge the gap between production cars and full-on race machines, superstock racing emphasized reliability and performance straight from the showroom. The 283 top configuration, with 283 horsepower, was a perfect fit for this category. Chevrolet offered the engine in models like the Bel Air and the Corvette, which could be ordered with high-performance options like the fuel-injected Fuelie setup, heavy-duty suspensions, and 4-speed manual transmissions. In superstock competition, the 283 efficiency and power gave Chevrolet a significant edge. Its ability to rev quickly and maintain consistent performance over multiple runs made it a favorite among racers. The engine's versatility allowed it to compete in various superstock subclasses, from the relatively stock SS classes to the more modified SSA categories. At drag strips across the country, 283 Chevys regularly posted quarter-mile times in the low 14-second range, a remarkable feat for the era. The engine's success in these classes helped cement Chevrolet's reputation as a performance leader, drawing attention from both amateur racers and factory-backed teams. The 283 impact in gasser and superstock racing wasn't just about winning, it was about democratizing performance. Unlike exotic European engines or high-dollar American V8s, the 283 was affordable and widely available, making it a staple for grassroots racers. Its success in these classes inspired a generation of hot rodders to modify their own Chevys, creating a vibrant subculture that celebrated the 283 as the ultimate everyman's performance engine. Blood on the track. Goldsmith's Ford lost by 19 seconds, humiliated. After the race, witnesses saw Chrysler's team chief kick his Hemi's tire until it bled. Goldsmith's quote, "That Fuelie Chevy didn't just beat us, it made us look like goddamn farmers." While GM played politics, outlaw mechanic Hayden Proffitt took the 283 to war. His fuel-injected 57 Chevy gasser ran 11.90 seconds, faster than factory Corvettes. While the 283 made waves in drag racing, its impact on oval and short-track racing was equally profound. The 1950s were a formative period for stock car racing, with NASCAR emerging as a major force in American motorsports. The 283, introduced just as NASCAR was gaining national prominence, became a cornerstone of Chevrolet's racing efforts, particularly on the short tracks and ovals that dominated the sport. The 283 lightweight design was a key advantage in this arena. Weighing approximately 600 pounds, the small block was significantly lighter than competitors like Chrysler's 354 Hemi, over 700 pounds, or Ford's 312Y block, around 650 pounds. This weight savings translated into better handling and acceleration, especially on the tight, half-mile dirt and asphalt ovals that were common in the NASCAR Grand National Series, the precursor to today's Cup Series. The 283 compact dimensions also allowed it to fit snugly into Chevrolet's chassis, improving weight distribution and reducing the need for extensive modifications. In 1957, the 283 powered Chevrolet to one of its most iconic victories, the Daytona Beach and Road Course Race, a precursor to the Daytona 500. Driver Marvin Panch piloted a 283 Chevy to a dominant win, showcasing the engine's blistering speed on the beach's long straightaways and its agility on the course's sandy turns. The 283 fuel-injected variant, with its precise power delivery, allowed drivers to maintain control at high speeds, a critical factor on the unpredictable surfaces of early NASCAR tracks. The engine's performance wasn't limited to factory-backed efforts. Independent racers, drawn to the 283 affordability and tunability, used it to compete in regional short-track events across the South and Midwest. Tracks like Martinsville, Hickory, and Darlington became proving grounds for the 283, where its quick revving nature and robust torque gave drivers an edge in tight wheel-to-wheel racing. The engine's reliability was another asset. Unlike some high-strung competitors, the 283 could endure the grueling conditions of short-track racing without frequent rebuilds, making it a favorite among budget-conscious teams. The dirty tricks Ford's VP threatened GM. Ban racing or we release the Corvair death trap docks early. Chrysler bribed UAW leaders to protest unsafe speeds. Days after NASCAR's ban, FBI agents stormed Unique's shop. Suspected treason. They called fuel injection weapons tech. Unique's verified interview. Bastards took my injection units at gunpoint. Told me, build carbs or build coffins. If the 283 was a star in stock car and drag racing, it was an absolute legend in the Chevrolet Corvette, transforming the car from a stylish but underpowered novelty into a world-class performance machine. Introduced in 1953, the Corvette initially struggled to compete with European sports cars like the Jaguar XK120 and Porsche 356, largely due to its lackluster six-cylinder engine. The arrival of the 265 in 1955 gave the Corvette a boost, but it was the 283 in 1957 that elevated it to iconic status, dominating road racing, drag racing, and street racing. In road racing, the 283 Corvette became a force to be reckoned with. The Sports Car Club of America sanctioned events like Sebring and Riverside, where Corvettes faced off against European heavyweights and domestic rivals. Fuelie variant gave the Corvette the power to compete with cars like the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, while its lightweight chassis, around 3,000 pounds, ensured nimble handling on twisty circuits. Drivers like John Fitch and Dick Thompson piloted his Corvettes to victories in B production and C production classes, earning the car respect as a serious contender. The 283 broad power band, courtesy of its fuel injection, was a key advantage in road racing. Unlike carbureted engines, which could bog down in corners or struggle with fuel delivery under heavy cornering loads, the Rochester Ramjet system provided consistent power, allowing drivers to accelerate out of turns with confidence. At the 1957 Sebring 12 Hours, a 283M Corvette finished first in class, a testament to the engine's endurance and performance under grueling conditions. On the drag strip, the Corvette's 283 was equally dominant. The NHRA's growing popularity in the 1950s made drag racing a showcase for production cars, and the Corvette's lightweight body paired with the 283 high-output engine was a winning combination. In its top configuration, the Corvette could run the quarter mile in under 14 seconds, a remarkable achievement for a street-legal car. The engine's tunability allowed racers to push it even further, with modified versions reportedly exceeding 300 horsepower. At events like the NHRA Winter Nationals, 283 regularly outran heavier competitors, solidifying the car's reputation as a drag strip king. Beyond sanctioned events, the 283 made the Corvette a legend in the underground world of street racing. In the 1950s, street racing was a cultural phenomenon, with young drivers gathering on deserted roads or industrial lots to test their cars. The 283-powered Corvette, with its sleek design and explosive acceleration, was a favorite among street racers. Its ability to outrun larger, heavier cars like Pontiacs and Oldsmobiles made it a feared opponent. The fuel injection, while complex for amateur mechanics, gave the Corvette an edge in impromptu races, where precise power delivery could mean the difference between victory and defeat. The 283 dominance wasn't just about winning races, it was about embarrassing the competition, particularly Ford's Thunderbird. Introduced in 1955 as a direct rival to the Corvette, the Thunderbird was marketed as a personal luxury car with sporty aspirations. Powered by Ford's 312Y block, which produced up to 245 horsepower, the Thunderbird was a formidable machine, but it couldn't match the Corvette's performance once the 283 arrived. On the track, the Corvette consistently outperformed the Thunderbird. In SCCA road racing, the Corvette's lighter weight and superior power-to-weight ratio allowed it to outmaneuver and out-accelerate the heavier Thunderbird, which tipped the scales at nearly 3,500 pounds. It was cultural. The Corvette became the darling of performance enthusiasts, while the Thunderbird leaned toward luxury, appealing to buyers who valued comfort over raw speed. Chevrolet's marketing capitalized on the 283's racing success, touting its victories and engineering prowess in advertisements. Ford, unable to keep pace, shifted the Thunderbird's focus to luxury in subsequent years, effectively ceding the performance crown to the Corvette. The 283's ability to humiliate the Thunderbird on and off the track solidified its status as a performance icon. The Rivalry ignites Chevy's success wasn't just winning. It was humiliation. The Corvette, with its 283 Fuelie, made Ford's Thunderbird look like a plush couch on wheels. Ford engineers scrambled. Chrysler's Hemi team sweated. But the backlash wasn't just on the track. Inside the plush boardrooms of the Automobile Manufacturers Association, AMA, panic set in. The horsepower war, fueled by Chevy's audacity, was becoming too public, too expensive, too dangerous for them. Rumors swirled, whispers of Ford and Chrysler executives applying immense pressure. The justification? Safety, cost. But the timing. June 1957. Right after Chevy's dominance with the 283 Fuelie was undeniable, the AMA announced a ban on factory racing involvement, a voluntary agreement. GM, under immense peer pressure and perhaps fearing antitrust scrutiny, reluctantly agreed. Overnight, factory support for teams like Unix dried up. Chevrolet's racing arm was shackled, but the 283 threat wasn't neutralized. On the track, it was still the king. So, the rivals struck again. NASCAR, under pressure from Ford and Chrysler teams struggling to compete, dropped the hammer. Effective 1958, banned fuel injection, the very technology that made the 283 a holy terror. The official reason? Complexity and cost. Unofficially, it was the only way to stop Chevy. Silencing the comet and fading legacy Chevrolet was forced to retreat. The revolutionary Fuelie option? Gutted. Racers like Unix and Profit ripped off the Ramjet systems, scrambling to find competitive carb setups. The 283 was suddenly hobbled. Chevy fought back internally. Ed Cole's team evolved the small block, the 327 in '62, then the immortal 350 in '67. Brilliant engines, legends in their own right. But they buried the 283 Fuelie's specific glory. The muscle car era dawned, obsessed with cubic inches, 389s, 426 Hemis, 427, 454. The compact, efficient 283, its revolutionary fuel injection outlawed, seemed like a relic. It faded into base models and trucks, a ghost of its world-beating past. But the DNA lived on. The 283 proved the small block concept. Its architecture birthed the 327, 350, and ultimately the modern LS, the most successful V8 in history. Ed Cole's Flint-built revolution never truly died. It evolved. The 327's success in models like the 1963 Corvette Stingray, which set new performance benchmarks, shifted attention away from the 283. The 350, introduced in the 1967 Camaro and later spread across Chevrolet's lineup, was the final nail in the 283 coffin. With a 5.7-liter displacement and outputs reaching 370 horsepower in early high-performance versions, the 350 offered a compelling blend of power, reliability, and affordability. It became the backbone of Chevrolet's performance lineup, powering iconic muscle cars like the Camaro Z28 and Chevelle SS. The larger displacement and broader power band made it more appealing for the muscle car era, where raw horsepower was king. The 283 dominance in 1957 didn't just challenge competitors, it sparked a corporate backlash that contributed to its eventual obscurity. Ford and Chrysler, caught off guard the performance and fuel injection technology, reacted with panic and aggressive countermeasures, which indirectly influenced the engine's trajectory. Both companies, along with other automakers, supported the Automobile Manufacturers Association, AMA resolution, in June 1957, which urged manufacturers to withdraw from factory-backed racing. While the AMA cited safety and cost concerns, many speculated that the resolution was a strategic move to curb Chevrolet's racing dominance, driven by the 283 success. The resolution pressured General Motors to scale back its official racing programs, limiting the 283 exposure in high-profile competitions and contributing to its fading prominence. The Ghost Engine. Chevy secretly built a 283 Camaro prototype, Cole's last stand, but GM brass torched it after a 140-mile-per-hour spin terrified executives. The Legacy. The 283 V8's introduction laid the groundwork of Chevrolet's small-block V8 dynasty, a lineage that would dominate American performance for decades. Its compact architecture, lightweight construction, and versatile design became the template for future small-block engines, including the 327, 350, and 400 cubic-inch variants. The 283's ability to deliver high power from a small package inspired Chevrolet to prioritize power-to-weight ratios and modularity, allowing small blocks to fit in several forms of chassis without extensive re-engineering. This approach made the small block family a cornerstone of Chevrolet's lineup, from economy cars to race cars, and ensured its dominance in American automotive culture. Fast forward to 1997, and you'll find the 283 DNA still alive and roaring in Chevrolet's LS engine family, starting with the LS1 in the 5th-gen Corvette. The LS series, known for its performance, efficiency, and aftermarket support, owes much to the principles established by the 283. While the LS engines feature advanced technologies like aluminum blocks and electronic fuel injection, their core design philosophy, compact size, high power output, and versatility, traces back to the 283 innovations. The LS1, with its 5.7-liter displacement and up to 350 horsepower, mirrors the 283 emphasis on achieving high performance from a relatively small package. Like the 283, the LS engines use a pushrod overhead valve design, which prioritizes simplicity and efficiency over the complexity of overhead cam engines used by competitors. The 283 compact block design influenced the LS's architecture, allowing it to fit in a wide range of vehicles, from Corvettes to pickup trucks. The 283 versatility extended to specialized applications, such as in government and police vehicles, where its reliability and performance made it a standout choice. Chevrolet offered a high-performance variant of the 283 specifically for law enforcement and government fleets, particularly in the 1957 to 1967 period. This variant, often used in models like the Chevy Bel Air and later the Chevy 2, featured upgrades tailored for the demands of police work, including high-speed pursuits and extended operation. Evolution is the revolution. So, the untold truth? The 283 Fuelie wasn't just banned from NASCAR, it was targeted by a corporate conspiracy. Rivals couldn't beat it on the track, so they killed it in the boardroom. So, was it conspiracy? The evidence screams, yes. But the ultimate crime wasn't killing the 283. It was killing the future. What if? What if Unique's fuel-injected 63 Corvette hadn't been scrapped? Would it have dominated Le Mans? What if the FBI hadn't raided Profit's shop? Would his 2883 have hit 200 miles per hour by 1960? What if Cole's Camaro prototype survived? Would muscle cars have been efficient, not gas guzzlers? History belongs to winners. But the 283? It belongs to the rebels who almost changed everything, until Detroit shot first. The 283 proved that efficiency and innovation could trump brute force. But in 1957, brute force won in the corridors of power. The greatest engine of its era wasn't defeated by pistons and valves. It was stopped by panic, politics, and a ban button. What future did they steal? This is Paul from Rare Car Stories, reminding you to dig deeper, question everything. Catch you next time.